teams all drop in closer proximity to one another, and we start again where we started last time. JL in a fight versus XCG, just over by the rift. As Kakaishi gets a whole bunch of damage put onto him from TSJ with the dual halberds, even at Grey Variant. Those items do crazy damage, but VVV with a fan secures one. JL getting themselves turned back onto. This is getting a little heated here. One Fang pops the bell just to keep himself going, and it looks like JL have been easily able to control and win this fight.
Yep, scariest thing when you take a fight off drop is that the other team has a Karumi. All of the damage that you do fully nullified by that F3. As OUG now taking a fight against TE for control of Matab. It's gonna be a lot of damage onto the back of this Takeda for you. This is one of his better heroes, in fact, probably his best hero. So we'll see if OUG can play it the way that they want to. Unfortunately, you does go down. TE's Horn takes the parry, loses the weapon, manages to put themselves on top of Yu's body to pick up that fan as a backup. That comes in with the F3, finding the connection onto OUG's. The King will be able to pick up the kill off of that, and that should be TE winning it. As heading over to Waterfall, GG now having to take the fight. Free versus Free against Bauda. Huge Tessa V1 connecting from CJS. Yuran incredibly low, going to be targeted down by the players of GG. However, huge Tianhai F1. That bell actually saving his player, and it gets turned onto GG instead. LMB comes on out from CJS with the blue fan. GG breaking line of sight, trying to avoid the grab, doesn't manage to stop LXM, who gets punted. CJS now gets grabbed as well. LXM trying to come in with the Viper. It's V3. The silences that you are not able to find a grab. In the meantime, does manage to find the reverb after that silence duration has worn out. CJS with the Tessa V1 should be able to catch on to Yiran. Locks onto the Kurumi instead, and Peak is able to utilize the animation of that circle. As no way are GG Salty running this. No way are GG Salty running this. Use the revive. 67.6 points, Jake. The pressure's getting to GG.
I don't know what they were cooking up there. That was not it. They're gonna have to just go Rebirth Charm. I don't see any other world where this pulls off. I think there was maybe like, oh, I can make it and save the day, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
Maybe it was like Tessa V1 connected. We forced the Kurumi V2. If we really quickly take this fight again, our ultimate is going to come back online faster because Tessa gets 2 ultimates and 100% as opposed to everyone else who gets 1. But that was a huge fumble on the side of GG. So they're on 67.6. They are not in the clear for the 70 marker, and JL has overtaken them as well in terms of overall standings because JL got the better drop.
I see a world where GG probably just play placement now and hope that gives them enough points. They got 2 kills, so if they can get a good enough placement point and a multiplier, they will make it, but this is not the style you want to be making it. 2 very, very lackluster games after 2 massive pop-off games. So they are maybe losing a little bit of wind in their sails, although GG I do think are better at Morris Isle than Holoroth. Typically they do pop off more and Morris Isle, but even so, I feel like the last 2 games have been pretty undefendable, really, from the side of GG. A lot of mistakes being made.
The problem for GG is that they went from so much momentum to really smart drop coming through from last round, right? But the amount of downtime that they had having to play from that first fight on drop all the way to final zone, there was so much downtime. So all of that energy that they'd picked up, all of that confidence is just continuing to erode as more time passes. And you can see that when they got put in that pressure state, again, there was obviously indecision between the team. There was the call of like, if we get a full team kill, maybe we're going to get enough points to get over the 70 marker. So even if we go out early, at least we've guaranteed that we've hit match point eligibility. But the rest of the team also wanted to play for safety of survival instead. And they're going to have to play for Rebirth, like you said. As JJH now dropping onto Wolves, who's going to be losing XEM. Flames coming in with that massive hit of damage off of the Viper F3. So far, haven't seen GG state whether or not they've been able to pick up the coins necessary to grab a rebuff charm and get the Wu Chen up, because like this is the fear for GG. They're lacking the Wu Chen, which means if they get jumped on by another team, they don't have the teleport. If one of their player goes down, then it's going to be, granted, they do still have 2 rebuffs for the test from the Viper. But if one of their players goes down, the Wu Chen is not going to be able to port out the body and guarantee that you have the time and space to find the revivers. WBG have temporary control of Cave, as we have seen previously. This is very much a dinner bell, as they will be able to access both it, the legendary Soul Jades, as well as the Morris Blessing that is contained within. Keep an eye on the mini-map. Currently, no one is actually contesting them on this one.
Because we had clusters of action, I think a lot of people are quite spread out right now. Although I will say JDG are relatively close to where GG are. Although I think they're a bit of a distance away, but there is a world where they cross paths, and GG desperately just trying to put together some points. I mean, they ran to City of Tang in Ghost Form and reset. They did get the rebuff charm. They've got CJS left back, so I'm sure once he's revived, there's a sigh of relief. But most of Tang would have been cleared right now, and they've got to gear up pretty quickly. Not that they're going to be jumping into any Realm Yangs anytime soon. This is not a particular Realm Yang team. It's more a team of that sort.
The question is, how much of the confidence has tanked? Because you have to remember as well, it's not just a question of hitting match point eligibility. You have to MVP.
Why are Wolves separated? Because we saw one of their players go down earlier.
Yeah, because that was their second lives.
Oh.
That's your answer. Wolves lost XEM. It was XEM's second life. EG's already burnt for the rebuff as well. It's just that K.
And he does not have the money to buy a rebirth as well, so that might be a little cook there for the side of Wolves. They were able to get 2 kills, so they crawled out of last place into second to last place. So they got some work to do, unfortunately, the side of Wolves. It's just chilling off, I guess. Well, no pun intended. I guess we are just waiting for the Realm Yangs to spawn up. That's where we're going to see the players.
No one wanting
erupt into more action.
Yeah, no one wanting to take fights now, because you're going to be forced into utilizing your ultimates. Everyone wanting to prioritize pathing towards shops so that they can pick up Soul Jades and have those surprises, which gives them that advantage inside Realm of Yang, right? If you have a legendary Soul Jade that's super early, or something like Cavalry Bloom on the Dual Blades that the other team is not expecting, a lot of the time that one advantage is all you need to tip the scales in your favor. As JL definitely looking to take an entrance inside a Realm of Yang. It is going to be spawning directly in front of them. Do they manage to get through in time? Are they good? Yeah, they just go immediately in. JL are so close to that 70-point marker. They have the Transformer. They've already got purple armor onto One Fang. It is going to be a blue scaled damage, however, with the Kurumi variant as well as the Tumult. You have so much coverage to make sure that the Tian Hai is going to be able to survive. It's going to be a fight against JDG. Everyone taking to the sky. One Fang trying to come on through. Doesn't manage to find any connection with the focus hits off of this bit. Still holding on as well. Gets the early transformation now of that Tian Hai. As do we see the grabs come through? Hardy Cube gets set into play to make sure that we have the disengagement potentially available, and there it is. Hardy breaking away before One Thing can find the grab and scoop him up into a double grab situation. Smolch Ultimate is making it incredibly hard though for 2-Tick to find a lot of value, and he has to just go onto the grind with the fan. Huge pick coming on out onto the Farrier Cube now. Called into play to make sure we can reposition. There's the Kurumi V2, gets the Tumult Wisp Throat into it, so huge stamina drain going to be coming on out from any of the players on JDG's side. Tumult receiving the Kurumi F3 as well, now transferred over to One Fang for both of these players to get aggressive. And you can see, even though One Fang takes the huge hit of the charge vertical on that fan, the health just does not go down. The Dragon Slayers come through. Massive interruption coming on out before it can hit the golden stage of that Nessus. However, horizontal jumping hit comes on out from One Fang, just catching the feet of one of the players as they put themselves onto the pillar. parry does connect onto the monk, and we can see JL backing on off, taking a little bit of downtime to shore up the armor before coming back in, using the numbers to turn the tide in their favor.
Yeah, it's just our waiting game though. 12 seconds left on the clock. I don't know if JL can do this in time. We might see them going down. One thing loses a lot of HP. It's just waiting here from 2Tick. He's waiting the timeout. It's over. It's cooked. Everybody goes down. And they're going to have to now find themselves a rebirth and maybe just instantly into a scrap. I mean, JL are right next to a rebirth
rematch.
Spot, so...
Potentially?
They're waiting.
They're scouting. They want to see. They know that there was another team that went into the realm of Yang. They want to see whether that team takes the same soul altar.
Yeah, looks like they're not though. Because I think it was Baldo was the... Oh no, Baldo got Vermilion's first match. But they were in the... I think Baldo were the closest team to them as Wolves. Unfortunately, ZK, the final man standing here on this tester, doesn't even have their ultimate up and available. It's 5% rage away. That may buy them the space they need, but you're getting Draco Stormed. Down they go. Oh, it's not a Draco Storm. It is! They do have a Draco Storm.
It is Draco Storm.
Didn't show at the top of the screen, so I was a bit like, wait, what's going on?
Crucially, JL 69.1 score. One more kill, Jake, or a better kill multiplier, and they'll be able to qualify for match point eligibility. JDG, unfortunately, timing out inside that realm of Yang, gonna be hit by Yang depletion, and it looks like they're just gonna cleanse it by chucking two of their players into corruption tick damage, and 2Tick buys the rebuff charm, just camping that box. Picks up the rebuff charm, kites over to the soul altar right next door, and grabs the player back. This is probably the safest way of dropping the Yang depletion, especially because you know that it was a timeout, and another team, at least two other teams, are going to be kiting around this map looking for a fight. That you're now not going to be forced into having to take, as KLA take full advantage of XCG having to be aggressive. QGG coming in with those legendary halberds. But that is, yeah, like you said, XCG eliminated. It's going to be a little bit of trades coming through with DRG going in for that third party. Crucially, however, KLA having won that realm of Yang had the Vermilion Bird's Might to reposition and continue in this lobby, something that was not up for XCG as JL looking for this last kill to net themselves that 70-point score. Is this where they're able to find it? One Fang commits in with back-to-back charged verticals on this fan, putting down so much pressure. No odds on also in play. There it is. Charged vertical from the fan. Claims the kill onto Bowders. Jing with that one kill secured. And JL peace out. Even if they get knocked out of the lobby here, Jake, they have done enough. 70 points has been cleared. They are now eligible for match point in all of the games after.
That is absolutely huge there for GG. A little point just to make as well. I said XCG were one of the teams who had the potential to qualify for the next game for a potential MVP. They went out with 0 kills. They're done. They're going to have to play a whole other game now if they want to try and get themselves out. Which is going to be very, very rough for them.
And there's 2 teams now who are match point eligible. JL and GG.
Yes, you are right.
GG third-partied, ironically enough, the fight. JL took a fight against Bowder so that with Yang depletion they could at least take a fight and try and find a kill and clear the 70-point marker before they were kicked out of the lobby due to Yang depletion. And then GG see the fight going down, have the Tessa, have the Viper, and play the third-party composition, scavenging off of those kills and taking advantage of the ultimates that had been burned out in the scrap that Bowder and JL had taken previously. Sneak in, grab the kills necessary, and make it over the 70-point stretch, as well as Sleepwalker manages to find one grab, does get hit by the Tessa V1, puts himself onto the ground, or rather the high ground, so when the enchantment comes through, does he match the iframe? And yes, he does! He cancels the ultimate, iframes the charm, still does go down, however, as Bowder immediately zeroing in, forcing out that F1, taking advantage of the monk getting forced into utilizing that cancel of the ultimate early by the Tessa team. Sneak in for the third party. JDH will be able to grab themselves away with the Wuchen teleport as WBG and Bowder left to scrap it out against each other, giving JDH the escape tool necessary.
We actually saw TE lose their Atari to the corruption, which I don't really understand what happened there. But they are now down a player due to that. So that was during the middle of the fight. Wait, there's no way LYD...
Oh, it worked.
He got away with it. That is so big. A free Mora's blessing while they were down
free
a
rebuff
player.
charm. That's the big thing. Free rebuff charm. There is a rebuff charm that's contained inside the realm of Yang. That was huge. The gamble. So now one of them went into realm of Yang, gambled on no one going to take the second, while the other camped out a soul altar. So the second that LYD picks up the rebuff charm, it goes into the entire team's inventory, and as a result, you can automatically pick your player up immediately.
That is so intelligent there by TE. And I think they recognize the pattern of very few people are going into the second realm of Yang now. These games, they do not want to be risking it. So they took that risk because the gamble was they lose the game here or they sit on two members and probably lose the game down the line anyway. So really, really intelligent play there by TE to make that risk. It paid off and now they are back in the game. In with a chance, but still in 10th place. So they got to really show up in this next section as Balder currently just hunting on to WBG. GG have been quiet since qualifying, but they don't really need to do much now. They can chill. I feel this game's probably going to be a bit of a confidence booster for them, so they'll probably just play it as normal and just kind of get that fundamentals back under their belt because the last couple of games the fundamentals kind of went to the wayside. My main interest actually isn't this game now. It's the next game because I'm super interested in what GG now lock in because they've been locking this the blind date, very aggressive kind of like just scrappy skirmishy comp. What are they going to pick to try and win the game on? I mean, we know they have this the Cannonball, the Valda variant of Cannonball up their sleeve, and that is a really high performing comp for them. You got just regular Transformers. I'm going to be so interested to see what they lock in.
Good Bygate.
Hit the bush.
Managed to lose the tail. Either don't check the invisibility bush. Bygate slips away unnoticed. Huge play coming on from Bygate. He's not...
They found him!
Yeah, they found him. I was going to say. Biter are scattered around about. There's so many purple bushes in the area. They knew that Bygate was kiting to this place. It was just a matter of hide and seek eventually. As a KLA starting to pick up a lot of momentum for themselves as well. 54 points. If they have a high-scoring game, if they can hit a 20 bomb, they could potentially put themselves onto match point eligibility as well. And with the Siphon composition as well as a legendary armor picked up, it would not surprise me if they were able to do just that. As like you said, GG for them, this game is a confidence boost. And my concern is what happens if that confidence that they're having to rebuild gets kicked right back into square one all over again. If they do not do well in end zone, I worry it's going to push their confidence, and when they need to get that MVP, when they need to play aggressive in the first opening fights, we're not going to see that aggression, and they're going to get out-tempered by these other teams. The likes of JL wanting to play incredibly aggressive to try and put themselves ahead of GG. Every other team in this area who is not MVP eligible, understanding that the tempo of the fight and the match has to shift up entirely so that you can take as many kills away from the teams that have that potential of if they take MVP, game is done, season ended.
Well, looks like we're just going to go back into the replay. Bowder taking on WBG inside this one. Able to get himself beautiful. Oh, no, they didn't get the grab on the Bygate. I thought they did there. Sleepwalker just trying to find his own grabs. It's just transformations across the board. Is it going to be another timeout? It can't be, right?
I believe Bada had Yang depletion.
Oh, my word. There's so many timeouts. There's so many timeouts inside the realm of Yang. This is the problem with Monk. Monk versus Monk is not quick enough for these types, for realm of Yang. It moves way too slow as a comp because it's naturally a stall-heavy comp. It's about slowly cycling through the ults, buying space, buying time. And as we've seen today, with Monk kind of returning into the meta, they struggle if they burst another Monk inside the realm of Yang. Does look like Bowder actually did beat
Okay, yeah,
WBG,
Bowder did
so,
win.
And then they went and finished WBG up after as well.
Yeah, that explains how they got the legendary nunchucks, as well as, ooh, Rampage attached to the hang sword. That you get to see the animation getting to change with the full 360 pivot. And the purple focus strike. As Rampage is one of those soldiers that changes weapon animation as opposed to jabbing, which is a 50-50. Either hope that you get the parry timing and anticipate a jabbing, or lose the 50-50. And instead of getting a standard banner character, unfortunately get just absolutely smacked in the face by one of the highest and fastest damaging focus attacks in the game. As we're gonna see KLA, like I said, they are stocking up. They are getting ready to just position inside this cave. Weather effect's gonna come through as well, so all of the troves in the area are gonna be refreshed, which means that KLA get an absolute free farm of all of the resources that they so desire. Could potentially get challenged in that space by some of these other teams with the same idea. So it looks like everything is slowing down for the most part. All of these teams recognizing no one is MVP eligible. We don't have to lobby any of those leading teams. It is much better that we take this match to consolidate and push up our own score, which means you have to play for not just high kills, but high kill score multipliers. TE patrolling the space with that ballista, getting a connection onto DRG. WFC instantly throwing in that Zai F3 to reposition. As around comes TE, putting pressure on some of these other teams. Han having to give up that ballista control, however. A single hit from Bowder is going to stagger the Zai, and it's just past the parcel. As Bowder see the absence, see the vacancy, and immediately move in.
Yeah, get a massive shot off onto Leo again. 2 times in a row, he gets railed by that one. Jing keeping the pressure up, constantly having those fire down onto them, and so they have been able to position themselves out of line of sight of that ballista. As we are seeing GG contesting DRG here for the Spirit Well. OG also in the potential areas. This could get really feisty really quick. So GG actually just decided to back off. Again, I mean, they don't really have anything to lose, so this game's kind of like a wrap for them. Right now, my eyes are actually on KLA. KLA are geared to the teeth. They are, what, like 16 points off qualifying? 16 points is so achievable. I mean, we've seen 20-point games quite consistently today.
Especially because there's only 2 Kurumis. Yeah, there's only 2 Kurumis, and everyone else in terms of support is running that zip. So KLA with that Xiphon composition are going to be able to obliterate the healing, as the DRG are able to unlock Spirit Well, don't make off with all of the loot. WFC, huge wisp comes on through. WFC does have that Zai F3 solo, like you said, manages to make it on top of that cliff, not out of the woods just yet, gets the armor swap coming through from Wujin. As well, the Kurumi stepping up to make sure that the Zai is going to survive all of the focus fire that came on out. Really good plays coming through from them as Bowder get right back on top of that ballista and see if they can keep putting this pressure out. We still have 4 repair kits in play for Jing on this Temi. And he's even got the wisps around him too, so no one can ranged pressure him off of ballista control either.
Now with the Bane's Breath starting up, it's just going to force everybody away into their little corners away. And eyes right now on KLA and OUG. They both are in a close proximity to being able to qualify. It's going to have to be a pretty big game from them. I think KLA are a little bit more set up than OUG, but OUG, I mean, back on his Takeda with the golden fan, just like we saw them do at the beginning of the day. Oh no, that's KLA I'm thinking of QGG, but we know Yu's a good Takeda.
Oh,
he's got the golden fan. Just like
Yu was, if not the best Takeda last year. He received so much praise coming through for when he was playing Takeda for KLA. As I believe it's Soul Shatter as well that he has on that legendary fan too. It's DRG stuck directly in the middle. No one making that first move just yet. Bane's Breath still currently in play. As a result, everyone just wanting to veer away from that confrontation. As if you start getting aggressive on some of these teams, yes, you might get those kills, But the second that you clean that team, everyone else in the lobby is turning on to you if you have to use those ultimates to be able to do so.
I'm going to be miffed if I'm a Monk player right now. Luckily, it's only Bowder, who have got 11 kills, to be fair. They've had a really good game, but this is an area where Monk is really going to struggle. You're working with a lot of verticality, and, you know, especially if you get forced onto the low ground, everyone's just above you, can just, like, rain hot headshots at you and just whittle away your health bar and dodge away your grabs. It's going to be so hard. So for Bowder, it's about them holding that high ground, which right now they are, but the zone is actually moving towards them. So I think they're going to get forced off, and it actually looks like the zone is kind of forcing everyone into the pit.
Yeah, KLA right next to GG. GG now trying unnoticed to make that rotation. Smolch ultimate comes through. Viper stun also comes through. Bowder taking cover from that one as they get hit into the follow-up with that Tessa V1. With the Smolch ultimate, they will recover from the 3-second stagger window, however, and now start to return a little bit of that pressure. OUG also getting hit by a Tessa V1, doing the exact same thing. Smolch ultimate now forced from SS to cover OUG from the focus fire of everybody else in this lobby. DRG on the outside, getting that Karumi Tava, getting to play a little bit more aggressive and outlive once OUG try to turn onto them. OUG instead looking to favor having this control of cliff face to set up things like the skill rushes. Is no one really wanting to take an engagement outside of everyone vying for control of Spirit. Well, there's the rampage coming on from Yiran. Karumi Tava as well coming on out from Peak, and as a result, that little bit of contest that some of these teams tried to launch against Bowder dies down almost immediately. As GG start making that first move. That is a huge Tessa V1 coming out onto JH, who try to use the Wu Chen teleport to dodge out of any follow-up. I don't see the kill feed light up, unfortunately. It might be now that it is going to be TE turning onto them, but it's DRG with the pistol. Moonlight is able to steal that one away underneath TE's noses. There's TE now caught out. Zone corruption pushing them off of cliff. Dome still in place. Spiritwell is being prolonged by Bowder, who are using it in that glamping style, just the way that we saw JL sitting on that dome for as long as possible to avoid the post pressure. Coming on through, Dome finally collapses. OUG moving into position. You with that legendary fan, dodging out of the spacing, coming on through from the rest of the teams as 3 fans in synchronized fashion. You've heard of synchronized swimming. Get ready for synchronized charged vertical throwing on this fan. Huge Viper V3 though comes on through. As OUGs, you will be able to live. Here's the Monk, and maybe Monk was peeved before. They're incredibly happy right now. This corruption tick has pushed everybody onto having to either stick themselves onto the cliff face or go onto the high ground, and that is just prime double grab territory for Bowder's Yiran into the flame of follow-up from the rest of his teammates. Viper V3 does connect onto Yiran, who's not going to be able to find the double grab until just now. Tumulch ultimate, make sure to cover the Tianhai. He will be able to find the double grab. As a result, KLA might start pulling away with the kills necessary as they're on 55.5 points, too far away from that 70-point marker. Who walks away with MVP? Because Bowder with the Transformers, Jake, are starting to absolutely make a mountain of movement in terms of this final zone.
Big parry coming in there from WFZ, getting a whole lot of damage, but LXM comes in with the parry of the Golden Fan, forcing WFZ to go in for his ultimate, gets a massive chunk down, finishes off LXM, securing a kill for his team, but Bowder closing the gap on everyone in the lobby. Peak up on that high ground, just trying to avoid GGCGS. Yoran, full armor, full health with the cannon doing the work as GG are knocked out. Bowder, they're about to get to that 20 bomb as Yoran transforms once again. This is his world, looking for the grab. Han's gonna be the first one. Can he get another? Looks for Wushin 98, hits him with the clap. TE are out of the lobby, out of this game, and we are closing in on the 20 bomb. Bowder making the miracle comeback in this game. WFZ is almost caught out. There's gonna be the grab, there's gonna be the slam. Jing's got to deal with Yoran. The sandstorm comes down. CXC, it was his only hope to qualify, and he has lost it. Bowder with a 20 bomb.
Oh, huge players coming on through from Bada. Like you said, when that zone, before it started properly collapsing, yeah, Monk Transformers composition hated that zone.